opponent week one. How does preparation change, if at all, for you, just given who you're going up against?
Yeah, over the past three years, I don't think that's really changed. Obviously, you look at the schedule and see Georgia, so that kind of piques your interest. Not every day you get the opportunity to open up with the number one team in the country. I mean, 130 something Division I teams, and we get that opportunity. So tremendous opportunity for our guys. But I feel like our preparation has been no different than it was last year or it was 10 years ago, from a defensive standpoint. Our guys have been really focused and locked in and, showed up every day with a business-like attitude and have just gotten better each and every day.
Wes, I think back in July you mentioned how big Georgia is and having to combat that. Do you think winning the line of scrimmage against Notre Dame last year, a similarly big physical offensive line, gives your guys confidence that they can do it in this game?
Yeah, I do. I mean, a lot of guys that are playing Saturday played big roles in that game, and just they understand the physicality. This game's going to come down to line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, so that's going to be a tremendous matchup for us against them and them against us, both offensively and defensively. And but I've challenged our guys. We want to be the most physical unit on the field. That's key number one. And our guys, we've gotten healthy during the course of the past 2 weeks, and our guys have been locked in and focused, just getting their mindset right for the matchup that Georgia presents up front.
I asked Coach Sweeney about it, just the loss of offensive production that they have in Bowers and McConkey. They brought in some good transfers on that side of the ball, but of what you know of their roster, how hard or easy will it be for them to replace those guys?
Yeah, I mean, they lost a ton of production. Those two young men are tremendous players. Obviously, will make an immediate impact at the next level as well. But their roster's still loaded with talent. Adding ETN to another stable of great running backs with Robinson, and Nate Frazier's had a really good camp from what the comments have been said. So I mean, backfield-wise, got a ton of talent. They talk about one of the most talented backfields they've had in a long time there. And Oscar Delp played a ton of ball. He's a really good player at tight end, so I expect him just to kind of be the next man up from that standpoint. They get that guy involved a lot in the passing game, and the transfer from Stanford, he's a solid player as well. And then, skill-wise, transfer Colby Young. We faced him last year at Miami. Obviously, Arian, know the type of matchup he presents with his ability to knock the roof off the defense. And then 86 and 6, are tremendous athletes who do a good job in the passing game as well. Get them the ball in space and make you have to tackle in space. But there's no shortage of talent on that roster.
Evaluation of the cornerback room and the depth there headed into the opener.
Yeah, I mean, I know Coach Sweeney touched on the injuries and stuff there, so day to day, and we'll see come game time where everybody's at. But really pleased with the focus and attention to detail out of that group, and just the week and a half of preparation of the young men that we have in the corner room.
Ashon Hampton's a guy we've heard a lot about during camp. Why is Ashon somebody who has stood out to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was kind of the buzz when everybody got back from vacation, and I don't feel like the game's too big for him. Growing up a coach's kid, he understands the time and preparation that it takes to be successful at this level. Growing up around the game and how that translates, and he shows up every day with the right attitude as well. Good body language. He's a competitive kid. Works extremely hard, and he's got a really bright future ahead of him.
Wes, Barrett Carter last week talked about leaving a lot of meat on the bone last season. What needs to happen Saturday to leave no meat on the bone?
Yeah, I mean, everybody always focuses on the outcome, but, I want to see my guys show up, play with a lot of physicality, play with great effort, great attention to detail, great discipline, fundamentals, communicate. Georgia presents a lot of pre-snap issues, shifting in motion, so everyone communicating on the same page. I want to see us tackle well. Tackling is always a premium, especially early in the year. And I just want to see us do the little things right, the big things that take care of themselves if we do those things right. Play heavy-handed up front, get off of blocks, fit our gaps, do a great job on deep balls, winning the one-on-one matchups, and the results will take care of themselves.
You mentioned the injuries in the cornerback room, I guess. Where's the confidence come from for those true freshmen if they have to play on Saturday or even later in the season where they could just come in and deliver for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the type of young men they are. They have that self-belief and confidence in themselves, but also the past few weeks of training camp going against our offense, being challenged in different ways and put in those positions. So I always say, confidence comes from the way you practice and prepare, and they've had a good month or so of training camp.
Speaking of the offense, what was different out of what you saw in that side of the ball, Cade, and the whole sort of operation in August compared to previously?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot more experience coming back. Obviously, Cade, from that standpoint, just a good confidence in that room and energy. Every new year, second year in the system, just a lot of confidence from that group. And, iron sharpens iron. Everybody's heard that saying, but we got a lot of good work this training camp going against each other. We won some battles, they won some battles, but, I feel like we all made each other better throughout training camp.
How much will the in-helmet communications help you, and how much of a game changer is that on the defensive side?
Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of new. Obviously, I had 3 years at the NFL level, so that was a little different because we still huddled defensively, so that gal was making all the huddle calls. But in the college game with tempo and all that, you still have to signal from the sideline and be a no-huddle defense. But I think it'd be a great tool, hey, remember this in this situation, or, if this guy motions, we're checking to this, and just kind of using him as whoever has the green dot as a coach on the field, more so than anything.
Any questions for Coach virtually? Anybody else in the room?
Going up against Carson Beck, what challenges does he present to your defense?
Yeah, I mean, he throws the deep ball as well as anybody we've seen recently, and just, he plays into their system. He's a very smart kid, doesn't force the ball into coverages. He can throw the deep ball, but, he'll check that thing down. He knows where to go with the ball. Got to do a great job disguising coverages, not presenting clean, easy looks pre-snap. And but he's as good throwing the deep ball as they've been lately, and especially throwing seam to seam between the hashes. If you give him those big B-gap windows, he's going to rip that thing right down the middle of the defense. And but big-time arm talent, doesn't turn the ball over, game manager, and he presents a tremendous challenge on Saturday.
Coach, what's the excitement for you finally being in game week after all this preparation, but finally being week one? What's the excitement to let that defense loose?
Yeah, I mean, you prepare all year for 12 guaranteed opportunities a year, so you spend 200-something days practicing and preparing for these type of opportunities, and all that hard work, has the opportunity to come to fruition on Saturday night. So, everything will be revealed or tested by fire on Saturday. So all your hard work this off season, the weight room, the mental toughness, the physicality, the conditioning, all of that's going to be on display Saturday. So there's nowhere to hide on Saturday.
formal depth chart from a team entering week one that big of a deal, if at all, for you, or does that change anything?
Not really. I mean, we know their roster and know their coordinators, and that they'll have new wrinkles, no doubt. And the video gives us opportunity now to make adjustments faster and see things in real time from the sideline. So, I'm sure they spent their off season working on new things as well. So we'll make in-game adjustments and go from there.
How much does it help having all those assistants now that can help coach that are up in the box, like giving you guys information? Is that different?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like it's going to be a big-time help, no doubt, just because we've added some guys that have great experience and I have a lot of respect for. But, within a drive, you still just get your typical down and distance offensive personnel, what's the situation type deal, what's the formation, and then in between series, we'll have the video, so be able to see it for myself, what the problems are, or Coach Reed to be able to see the corners, what the issue was, so forth and so on from that standpoint. But always good to add guys who bring a lot of value to the room as well, and just a fresh set of eyes. In our room, there's been a lot of guys who have a tremendous amount of years being at Clemson, so it's always good to bring in fresh new ideas, a fresh set of lens from that standpoint of being able to see the game of football.
Go back to 2022, but how much have you kept in touch with Streeter since that season? Do you think you maybe share a moment with him when you see him this weekend? Would it be the first time since then with Brandon Streeter?
I mean, I see him every day, or most every day is in Clemson. We're still neighbors. Okay. So I wave to him every chance I get.
Got time for one or two more, Coach?
Peter Woods, I know he told us his goal was to get down into the 290s, and then he was still around 319 around the weigh-in time. Is there still hope he's going to slim down during the season, or what allows him to play edge at 319 pounds?
Yeah, I think his motor and his athleticism, he's nothing but muscle. When he showed up in January as a freshman, I think he had the 5th most muscle mass on the team. So he's nothing but a ball of muscle. So I'll leave that up to the nutritionist and his position coach to manage all that. But I've seen nothing but great ability out of him during camp to be able to play wherever he's needed.
How close are Stefan and Vic Burley to contributing?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've put themselves in a position this camp, battling kind of, to battle for some playing time and stuff. How that shakes out Saturday, we still got a few days this week, but I feel confident in their ability to go in and play for us any chance that presents an opportunity.
Take one final one if anybody has one. If not, we'll move to Gary Riley. Thank you, Coach.
Cool.
Thanks, Coach.